Hi, in this video we're continuing with the pathology of cardiovascular disease by exploring the process of thrombosis, the formation of a blood clot. So normally damage to a blood vessels is physical damage in which the body needs to react to prevent blood loss and to prevent an infection, but that damage may be down to one of those atheromas rupturing and then damaging the endothelial layer of the blood vessel. If you haven't done so, quick look over the atherosclerosis video first and then jump back into the details here. So when you have this damage due to the atheroma, we get the onset of thrombosis, which starts with the release of the clotting factors, and that goes on to trigger a whole series of chemical reactions known as a cascade. But ultimately, that results in the conversion of the inactive enzyme prothrombin to its active form, thrombin. That thrombin is then going to cause molecules within the plasma proteins, fibrinogen, to start forming what's known as fibrin. And it's the fibrin which forms the meshwork, so scaffold that clots the blood, that seals up that wound, and then provides a scaffold for the formation of scar tissue. So all other cells can accumulate together, seal up the wound, and we've got the blood clotting to prevent blood loss. So the formation of a clot is thrombosis, as the clot is referred to a thrombus. So normally this would be a life-saving mechanism, but when the damage is due to atherosclerosis and not a physical injury, it only serves to aggravate matters further, because one of the major risks of blood clot forming under these circumstances is that a portion of that thrombus may break loose from the artery wall and travel in the bloodstream as an embolus, where it can then go on to block up another blood vessel. And the consequences of this can be very, very serious, even life threatening. For example, a thrombus, a blood clot in the coronary artery, the one that supplies the heart itself, that can lead to a myocardial infarction, an MI, more commonly known as a heart attack. Or if you've got a blood clot, a thrombus in one of the arteries, such as the carotid artery, which supplies the brain, then that may lead to a stroke. So, regardless of where the blood clot forms, or where it blocks, ultimately what's happening is the cells are being deprived of oxygen, thus leading to the death of the tissue. So let's try past paper question. Pause the video, come up with your answers. So first one, the multiple choice. You're told during clot formation, thrombin either A forms prothrombin, B causes formation of the fibrin threads, C causes the release of the clotting factors, or D forms a meshwork that clots the blood. So the correct answer is B. So prothrombin is the inactive form, so prothrombin actually forms thrombin. The release of the clotting factors is down to the damage to the vessel, and the meshwork that clots the blood is the fibrin. So thrombin is what causes the formation of those fibrin threads. Part B is about the consequences. So describe what causes a stroke. And your response is probably going to be pretty similar if you were talking about an MI or some other consequence. Because what happens is a blockage, a clot, an embolism in an artery, in a blood vessel. In this case, it's a stroke, so leading to or in the brain. Okay? It then blocks off the oxygen flow, blood flow to the brain, and that's what causes the stroke. So it's the blockage within one of the vessels that supplies the brain. So do make it specific to the example provided. You didn't need to specify it was the carotid artery, But if you did so, that clearly indicates that you know that it's the brain that's affected, because that's one of the major arteries that does supply the brain. So I hope this has helped, and of course, any questions, please just let me know.